"Elle, I need the money tomorrow!" he barked, slamming the folder on my table. Inside, a contract, a ledger, and my sister's name scribbled in red ink. Debt, $350,000. He stood over me like a warden issuing orders. Pay it off. No delays. I looked up at him, my father, the man who taught me that fear was obedience, and I smiled. Okay. 6 hours later, I was at the airport. He used to tell people I was his greatest disappointment, the quiet one, the ungrateful son. He never saw the nights I stayed up coding for foreign clients, or the years I lived off instant noodles to save every cent. He didn't notice when I stopped asking for help, because he'd already stopped offering it. Everything I earned, I built alone, while he gambled my mother's savings and my sister's future away. When she married, he called it a fresh start. When her husband's business failed, he called me, because in his mind, I was still the boy he could command, still the wallet he didn't own but could open. The truth? I could have paid the debt easily. 3 years of work had turned into a portfolio worth 7 figures. He didn't know. I made sure he didn't. Because with men like him, money isn't help, it's leverage. And when he said, "I need it tomorrow," I realized something. He didn't want the money for her, he wanted it for himself. My sister's debt was just the excuse, so I decided to give him what he deserved. Not money, but something priceless, a lesson. The plan was simple. I transferred every dollar from my main account to an offshore vault, clean, untraceable. Then I packed a small box, wooden, heavy, deliberate. Inside it, I placed a single gold pen, the one he'd given me when I graduated. It was supposed to be a symbol of pride. Instead, it was the last thing he ever gave me before disappearing for 3 years. On the lid, I taped a note. One line. "Here's what you left me with." I left it on the table by the front door. Then I left the country. He must have come the next morning. Neighbors later told me he was shouting, banging on the door, sweating through his shirt. When he found the box, they said his voice cracked. He tore it open like a man expecting salvation. Instead, he found his reflection in the empty space where money should have been. And that gold pen, the only thing I ever got from him. He screamed so loud, they said even the dog 2 houses away started barking. From my seat by the airport window, I could picture it perfectly. Him holding that pen, the weight of it hitting him like a memory. For once, I didn't feel anger, just release. I'd spent years trying to earn a father who was never there to begin with. Years thinking if I worked harder, achieved more, maybe he'd see me. But people like him don't see what they can't control. And that morning, when he opened that box, he finally saw it. His control, gone. I didn't vanish completely. I sent my sister a message. "Your debt's paid. You're free. But don't tell him how." She replied a single word. "Why?" I typed and deleted my answer 3 times before sending, because he needs to learn what losing everything feels like. She never responded, but I know she understood. She'd lived it too. A month later, a letter came to my lawyer's office, my father's handwriting. He begged for forgiveness, claimed he didn't mean to push me away. I didn't reply. Forgiveness isn't currency, it's peace, and mine isn't for sale. Sometimes, late at night, I think about him in that empty house, sitting in the dark, clutching that pen, trying to write apologies to ghosts. He always said I owed him everything. Now he finally understands what that meant. He taught me to obey. He taught me to endure, but he never taught me how to be small. So I became everything he couldn't control. When people ask about my success, I tell them it started with a box, a simple one. The day I stopped paying other people's debts and started collecting my own peace. He wanted $350,000. I gave him something better, a silence he'll never afford to break.